Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the Aotearoa's Whiskey 101 section. I am Sam, and today we are going to talk a little bit about what the difference is between single casks, small batch, and just your standard bottles, because we hear it all the time and people get it incorrect, so we just want to clear up a couple things. Now we're going to start with what a single cask is, and it actually is exactly what it sounds like it is. It's the spirit that's taken from this one single cask. Typically no water's been added, cask strength, and they'll dump it into the bottles. Like I say, no water's been added, nothing like this. So you'll get some very specific information when you're dealing with single cask. Like here we've got a 1987 Caledonian, right? From one single cask. And they'll give you the specific information as in the exact date of distillation, October of 87. It was bottled in January of 17 from a hogshead, cask number 23480. This is specifically bottle number 226 of only 233, 54.7%. So clearly cask strength. Now, when you see those kinds of numbers, you think, man, that's pretty specific. Only 233 bottles in the world, and you're dead right. It's a very, very special bottling. And same thing in America. Single cask, they'll have the information. In the cases of Four Roses, they put the information in the front. The barrel number. They don't put the bottle numbers on the single cask with the Four Roses because this is one of the prevalent bottlings. But anyway, the reason those bottles are so special is the master distiller, this is kind of like his baby. He'll go out into the rick house or warehouse and he'll choose that select barrel, and he or she is choosing that barrel for a very good reason. It is a good indication of what's going on in that distillery. So you can bet your arse that that is going to be a very, very fine bottle. Typically, they're at cask strength. You might want to add a pinch of water. Please, no ice, if you've heard me preach about before. But so that's it. Single cask, single barrel. That's all it is. Typically, you'll see it at cask strength. I kind of prefer it at cask strength, but that's just me. It is not always the case, but usually the case. Then we go down into what we call small batch bottlings. Now, this is Willett's famed Willett Pot Still small batch bottling, and it'll say just on the side there, where we got, it says small batch bourbon made in Kentucky, cask numbers, and it'll give you the cask number. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's batch number. That's correct. So batch number. So when you get the batch number is not necessarily an indication of how many casks they use, because it's quite rare that they'll tell you how many casks they use. It could be 5, it could be 10. And in some cases, like Jim Beam, which Booker No pretty much coined the small batch phrase with his Bookers, there can be maybe 40, 50 different casks that they'll use for a small batch bottling. But in the case of your smaller distillers, when you're talking small batch, it can be 8 or 10 different casks in a batch. So again, still a little bit more special because those casks are typically hand selected. So a little bit more special, not quite as special as obviously your single cask bottling. And then we'll cruise over to what your official bottlings are, like the Aaron 14, but there's many. Your Aaron, your Glen Elgin 12, your Ball Blair 12, Knockandoo 12, and so on down the line. When you just see your distillery with the age statements and such, it can be a marriage of a few hundred, maybe a 1,000 casks or so for that age statement. And interestingly enough, just real quickly while I'm on it, it doesn't necessarily have to be 14 years old. It has to at least be 14 years old, and that's when an age statement's on them, by the way. But you can have whiskeys in there that are 18 years old if you want to, and it's strictly for balancing purpose, consistency purposes. They're trying to get a consistent product that they put out in the previous bottling. They want them to taste as similar as possible. But that's it in a nutshell, guys and girls. So we have these very, very specific single cask bottlings, the small batch bottlings, and then your standard official bottlings. So hopefully that helps out. Until next time, guys, ciao.